I'm excited to introduce tonight's guest, who has been called the most consistently thought-provoking TV reporter of our time. John Stossel is with Fox Business Network and is the host of Stossel, a weekly program highlighting current consumer issues with a libertarian viewpoint. Prior to joining Fox Business Network, he co-anchored ABC's 2020. While there, he contributed to in-depth special reports and recurring segments on a variety of consumer topics, from pop culture to government and business. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. John Stossel.
Thank you. That's very nice. The more I watched market competition work, the more I saw that, gee, it was solving these problems better than the heavy hand of government. I mean, it wasn't perfect. There were Enrons and WorldComs and Bernie Madoffs. But what was remarkable in a $14 trillion economy is how rare they were. They're on the front page because they don't happen very often. Compare it to government, where, I mean, it doesn't happen often because when you cheat, you don't get rich in America. Rip it off your customers. The people who get really rich, the Bill Gateses of the world, get rich by offering customers something we like. Consider the worst car you can buy here in South Carolina and compare it to the best the experts could produce. And that was this car. Now, this was produced, this is the Trabant. It was produced by the East Germans. No slouches, those guys. These were Germans, you know, they're rocket scientists. And yet, this was the best they could do. It was such a bad car that you had to put the oil and gas in separately and shake the car to mix them together. And it was the pride of the Eastern Bloc, it and the Hugo. And yet, when the Berlin Wall went down, the Trabant disappeared. Why? Why could their best not compete with our mediocre product? Because not everybody has to be an expert for the free market to work its magic. You just need a few people, a few car buffs, or a few consumers who read the car magazines. We take capitalism for granted. Capitalism has lifted more people out of the mud and misery of stoop labor than any system ever. But we sneer at it. We don't think about its miracles. We just accept them. We accept the fact that a supermarket has 30,000 products and is open all the time, and the food rarely poisons us. It works. Government couldn't do that. We accept the fact that I can go to a foreign country, stick a piece of plastic in the wall, and cash will come out. And I can give the same piece of plastic to a total stranger, and he'll rent me a car for a week. A guy who doesn't even speak English. You know, when I get home, Visa or MasterCard will have the accounting correct to the penny. We accept that. But the government can't even count the votes correctly.
You used the term crony capitalism several times, and I was just wondering what exactly you meant, like the definition of that.
Well, I used it several times because Peter said he wanted me to talk about crony capitalism, so. People vilify capitalism because of its special privileges or of the banks that got bailed out. But that's not capitalism. Capitalism is the opportunity to succeed or fail. If you use your friends in government, your connections in high places to give you either special advantage or to keep you from failing, that's crony capitalism, and that's about as bad as socialism, and we've got plenty of that. We have corporate welfare. We have tax money being spent to help exports, because we want to have exports. But what that means is instead of companies competing on a level playing field, they invested lobbyists who try to suck up to this senator who gets them the special privilege for their export.
I think from our perspective, you seem to have a lot of moral courage because you went against the stream, and I'm sure it was pretty difficult in your field to have such an unusual view. Do you have any explanation for how you got that way?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm not sure how I became a libertarian from when no one else in my field is, or how I had the courage to fight my peers. I mean, I don't think it takes much courage. Nobody's shooting at me. If you think about the courage it took to fight the British, that was courage, because they were trying to kill you. had somebody come up to me in the street in New York and say, "Are you John Stossel?" "Yes." "I hope you die soon." And it's true, it's been sort of ugly. I won 19 Emmys when I was a leftist criticizing business, and I haven't won a single one since. I hope you fight for the liberty that made America great. Thank you very much.
I love you.
She does.
Good for her.